Welcome to the Chemist Chick with Helen Nichols. True stories from behind the pharmacy counter.
Now, I have one rule in life. Say yes to everything. Well, within reason, not murder or to Donald Trump, but be open to everything and everyone. I love to just go with the flow of any situation and see where it takes me. For example, my last show, That Sinking Feeling, when I realised I was on the wrong boat, my first thought was, okay, might as well make the best of it, and I did. I find in life, the more you try to control things, the disappointments are bigger. And being the eternal optimist that I am, some days I think, what magic will today bring? What nice surprises are in store for me today? And over the years, there have been many amazing encounters with people. Today, I'm going to tell you about one that happened only 4 years ago, and by saying yes to one of the best nights of my life came about. Walking to work on this particular morning with a pep in my step, daydreaming about what today might bring and what interesting people I might meet, as I usually do. I'm at work and I'm fluffing around in my fragrance section when in walks this beautiful African-American man. He was tall, young and handsome. He was immaculately dressed, groomed to perfection and smelled amazing. Then he opened his mouth to speak. "Good morning, ma'am." His voice was deep and like molten velvet lava. "Good morning, sir. Well, you're definitely not from around this part of the woods. What brings you into my humble little chemist shop?" "Well, I'm after some new cologne, and my friend here, she would like a new fragrance." His friend was the sweetest little thing I've ever met. She was so bubbly and pretty and tiny, but oozed big energy. I instantly fell in love with both of them. After chin wagging and having a good old chit-chat, I asked, "What are you guys doing in town?" "Oh, we're here on the world tour of the Michael Jackson tribute show. After here, we go to Cairns, then that's our last leg before we continue the tour in Europe." Oh my God, I've been trying to get tickets for that show for months. It's been sold out for ages. He said, "Gee, I wish I could give you a ticket for tonight's show, but it's packed to the point of not even standing room." "Oh, well, never mind. Thank you for the kind offer." Then he has this light bulb moment. "Hold on, you said you're in Europe in August. Our last leg of the tour is in Berlin. Where will you be?" By this stage, I'm getting super excited. What's the date of your last show?" He says, the 20th of August. "What? I'll be in Berlin on the 20th of August. Are you freaking kidding me?" "Okay," he says, "I will have 3 front row tickets for you and your 2 friends at our final show in Berlin." By this stage, I'm really fainting. Then he says, "Oh, and by the way, 3 invitations to the after party." This is the best day at work ever. So he gives me his email and we swap details. He tells me to email him when I'm in Singapore or Belgium for the final confirmation, etc. That night, I ring my 2 friends who live in Belgium to tell them the news about the show and after party. They are blown away, as they really wanted to see this show also. They couldn't believe I snagged tickets at my chemist shop in Australia. Us 3 were doing a big road trip through Germany, Belgium and Prague at this time.
You're listening to The Chemist Chick with Helen Nichols. True stories from behind the pharmacy counter.
When the night arrived, we were shown to our table. It was a huge venue in true European style. The whole theatre was little tables with tablecloths, a candle and ice bucket on every one. As he promised, our table was right up the front. Before the show started, he grabbed me and took me backstage to introduce me to the crew. He was so excited, telling them how I have come all the way from Australia to Germany just to see their show. They were all so lovely and treated me like a VIP. He said after the show, "Stay at your table, have another bottle of champers, and we will grab you for the party when we're ready." The show was sensational. My friend was the bass guitarist, and my gorgeous, tiny, pretty little soft-spoken girl I met in the chemist was a super hot, wild lead guitarist in the show, rock chick to the max, and the sweetest person I've ever met. People were jumping out of their seats, dancing in the aisles, and you could have sworn it was Michael Jackson up on that stage. Us girls were going mental with excitement. Okay, next, the end of tour after party. So we make our way out through this huge room to meet the cast of the show at a private bar at the end of this 2-story, huge open spaced function centre. And just then, I thought the night couldn't get any better. Boom. We run into a 6-foot-tall bear. Then a life-size dog walks past. I say to my friends, what's going on here? As we make our way to the function centre, there are life-size animals everywhere. Wolves, cats, dogs, bears, monkeys, etc., etc. Next thing we know, we're surrounded by hundreds of people dressed up as their spirit animal. We saw eagles, lions, tigers, but funny enough, they were mostly wolves. We three were gobsmacked, surrounded by all these fabulous real-to-life costumes with the people inside them. They would only make animal noises. None of them would speak. We have walked into the middle of an annual spirit animal convention that started in Japan a decade ago, and this year Berlin was their host city. We have heaps of photos with all these great creatures. They let us take photos with all of them, so friendly, but we did all the talking. They stayed in character all night. I loved getting big hugs from large furry friends. Some, though, a bit scary, like a huge black crow with massive wingspan and evil black eyes, flapped his wings as he slowly walked past me and looked right into my soul. Oh, God. We finally make it through to the bar, where the cast of the show are there waiting. They thought this was hysterical as 6-foot-tall dogs and bears and wolves kept coming over and putting drinks in our hands. The spirit animals all loved my mates and I because we instantly accepted them. No judgment, and loved talking to them and telling them how beautiful they were, etc. Still, I was blown away. It was like being in a dream. And by this stage already, I'd consumed a few bottles of champagne. Pinch me now. I'm in Berlin in this huge party. I'm drinking bourbon with Michael Jackson, albeit an impersonator. Hundreds of huge lifelike animals roaming around us, only making animal noises. Then one of the guys from the band says to me, "Hey, watch this." He proceeds to howl. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh my God. The whole place erupts. 500 animals start howling. Oh, oh. In unison. He sets the place off. It was fantastic and it was magical, like something out of Thriller. On the way back to our apartment, there was a little bar just closing up for the night. Well, it was 3 a.m. My younger friend said, "I know that guy." "Hey," she calls out to him. "Hi," he waves us over. "I'm just closing for the night. Would you girls like to come in for a nightcap?" "Sure, love to." By the way, the last thing we needed was another drink, you can imagine. So we settled into this cute little bar, lights out, just a couple of candles and beautiful wine, great company. As we told our new friend all about our evening, he was laughing his head off and said he was so jealous. We finally got to bed about 5 a.m. in the morning, completely shattered, but on such a high. So potties, remember, life is short. Go out of your comfort zone, live, laugh, and say yes. Oh, by the way, my spirit animal is an otter. Bye, potties.
The Chemist Chick with Helen Nichols. True stories from behind the pharmacy counter. You can subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever you hear great podcasts. This has been another quality podcast from Bytes.com.